is why since 2014, the speed with which highways are getting constructed, the speed with which for the first time Northeast gets double, gauge uh, railways. For the first time, Nagaland had even a railway station which they've not seen earlier. So the emphasis, and I think about 900 kilometers of highways have been given during these last 10 years for Mysuru. So there are lots of steps being taken on infrastructure development and also for better medical facility, telemedicine, building of Ayush Kendras, general wellness centers have all been established. So it's not to say that's the end of the story. Your question is well taken. Yes, more has to be done for Mizoram, particularly for health and education.
So, ma'am, you specifically mentioned about Husky, that loan, that interest-free loan of 50 years. So you said that 1,450 crores have been given to the Northeast. And in particular, in our state, we are very familiar, the people, the public is very familiar with this loan. So like when the government, the previous and this current government, when they do take that loan, like from the center, do you like verify how well it is used, put to use?
After all, the scheme has been launched only from 2020-21, and unless we get the utilization of the first half, the second half will not be released each year. But over and above that, any kind of utilization verification or audit has not been undertaken. I take your point.
Ma'am, recently the free movement regime has been scrapped. So
what regime?
Free movement regime has been scrapped between India and Myanmar. So is there any way of formalizing the bilateral trade that will benefit the people from both the countries?
See, first of all, I want you to appreciate that we are in favor of good relationship with each of our neighbors. Despite international understanding of which regime is good, which is not, where a sanction established, with whom some countries should have relationship, some should not, we have maintained good relationship with 99% of our neighbors. Of course, with Pakistan we have a difficulty, that's a different story. But the state of affairs at the moment in Myanmar, being a bit uncertain with some kind of disturbances, it is necessitating our almost like preventive action, just making sure that we don't have any spillover problems in our side. We look forward to having a normal movement of people and goods. We hope that we'll be able to do it at the earliest. Is that it?
Ma'am, I have two questions more. Firstly, today while speaking to A9, Priyanka Gandhi has said BJP can only win 180 seats in this Lok Sabha election. If they do gadbad in machines, they can win 400 seats, whatever they are saying, they can achieve it.
Did Congress do gadbad in machine to win in Himachal Pradesh? Did Congress do gadbad in Karnataka to win Karnataka State Assembly election? And these kind of talk are almost irresponsible. If they win, EVM is fine. If they lose, sorry, somebody is making a mess of EVM. Not becoming of a party which has ruled this country for more than 40 years.
Ma'am, Rahul Gandhi also says that we have given 5 guarantees and 25 things of justice. We will fulfill that if we come into the government. In Karnataka, we have fulfilling the promises we have done. BJP has waived off 16 lakh crore rupees of 25 people, but didn't waive off any loans of the farmers of India. He also questions about the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Bima Yojana, MSP, and empowerment of women in India.
First of all, Karnataka, if they are fulfilling, why will their deputy chief minister say that he has no money left for developmental work? Because 60,000 crores is going off for these promises. Their own deputy chief minister said that. Second, if literally they fulfill all their promises, in Rajasthan, they fulfilled the promise of returning to the old pension scheme and not being on the new pension scheme. But why is the National Party, the Indian National Congress, giving a manifesto for Lok Sabha not including going back to OPS in their national manifesto. Only for winning elections you want promises to be stated. And even as they've claimed so many 5 guarantees, 5 promises, did they say where they'll get the money from? Karnataka, we asked the same question to Karnataka State Congress. They didn't tell us. Now, in the name of implementing those promises with which they won power and won votes and came to power, they are asking Prime Minister Modi to give them money. And because it is not for Prime Minister Modi to give it, they are accusing him, saying, you are against the people of Karnataka, you don't want to give money for us. You gave the promise. We asked you the question even before election, where is the money to fulfill all those promises? And without thinking about it, you went ahead implementing it. Now you want Prime Minister Modi to give money for it? He didn't give that promise. So Congress is notorious in promises that they can't fulfill. They will give and bring a confusion in the mind of the voter. Oh really, are they going to give me 1 lakh in my account? And after that, they'll just throw up their hands and say, we have no money for anything else. People can find their own way. They are today verging on fringe groups which have no clue about how to take this country forward. They like to have Indian people dependent on their doles and largees. They have no idea about responsible governance, being inclusive as well.
See, ma'am, I think BJP is doing very well coming to the northeast states also, but somehow, even a Christian state like Nagaland, you're having, it's a coalition government, but somehow you're not making that kind of, grabs in Mizoram. Why do you think it's that?
It's not to say that the people are not receptive. They are receptive. They're listening to all parties. It does take time for people to be convinced about the intentions and action. And then they come over. Like you did mention the word Christian, and therefore I'm also talking about it. Look at Goa, a completely Christian state, has been with the BJP now for almost 30 years. Earlier it used to be a seesaw. Once it was this, once it was that. A Christian state. So, Nagaland, as you said. So it is not that the BJP is not in favor of one religion or the other. It is in favor of every Indian. And in distributing welfare schemes or bringing projects, it has not shown any discrimination. That is why when I was in Shia, I gave the details of how many people, even in that far-flung region, have benefited from those schemes. It takes a while for the people to be convinced. And in the meanwhile, looking at the way in which BJP is now becoming acceptable to all people, this kind of Congress's campaign, which is based on baseless narrative, is perpetrated, creating further confusion. But I'm sure the people will steadily understand this.
Regarding that, ma'am, I have one question. Maybe 8 days ago, or I don't know that maybe 7 days ago, your husband, Mr. Parakala, said that if Prime Minister Modi becomes Prime Minister again in 2024, India will never witness another election process. But you are here in campaigning for BJP. What is? Do you agree that what your husband said?
See, I'm here to answer political questions which have been raised by you all. It's not as if I have to answer this person's or that person's questions. But if I'm coming here to campaign, you yourself in your question is saying that. It's because I believe in the vote the people cast. It's because I believe in India's democracy. It's because even PM himself has said that BJP believes every word of the Constitution. So that is the answer I can give.
Any questions from economics, macroeconomics? You want to ask?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Ma'am, more questions. What if the Indian Finance Minister visited CHDC or MLDC for her campaign in her maiden visit instead of other places like the state capital or other places? Any particular reasons for that, or can we say that that area is a BJP stronghold in Mizoram?
Well, I go wherever the party and the people want me to go. And I think, given the Prime Minister's priority, that we'll have to look at the first villages which link India, not the border last villages. Border villages, which are first villages, because they are the entry into India. Siang district, district is literally on the border with Myanmar. And so it is important that we talk to the people even in that area to say, what is it that Prime Minister Modi has done in the last 10 years? And I'm grateful indeed to the people of Siar district for having, that is the autonomous region, for having supported the BJP, given us 2 MLAs, and also given us the council, autonomous council. So, yes, I went there because it's the first village to India from Myanmar side, and also because the autonomous council is doing its maximum work with the people. Thank you.